Hi, um, good evening, everyone. Long time no see. Here to have a conversation with Kalaimamani Uma Murali, who is celebrating 50 years in dance with a very, very thoughtfully curated. Hi everyone, with a very, very thoughtfully curated Kuchipudi convention at Krishnagana Sabha on June 24th, followed by a performance on the same day at the Naradagana Sabha. We at Alap have been, promoting this and giving this a shout out. And we just thought it would be apt for us to have a very, very short conversation with Uma Murali, just to kind of allow her to reminisce her journey of 50 years in the world of dance. So without much ado, I'm going to bring. Hi everyone. Hi Kavita, how are you doing? Uma, okay, are you here? Yes. Hi,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Very well.
We've been talking so much, but it's Instagram that's bringing us together over a conversation. So welcome Uma, welcome to Alap.
Thank you.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Uma Murali really does not need an introduction, but she's a dancer of repute, Bharatanatyam and a Kuchipudi artist with 50 years of dance under her belt. She began her training as a child at the age of 5 under Padma Shri K. N. Pani Pillai, and pursued her passion later with Adayar K. Lakshman. She learned Kuchipudi from none other than Padma Bhushan Vempati Chinna Satyam, has a whole host of awards, including the Kalaimamani. And she's most, one of the, her performances that she's really known for is her portrayal of Madhavi, which she portrayed with exquisite grace and the dynamic Kannagi in Madurai R. Muralidharan's dance musical Silapatikaram. So Uma, I am, without much ado, I'm just going to deep dive and ask you, I read this really nice quote that says, turning 50 gives me more yesterdays than tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, Uma, in the context of dance, right? What is more exciting, yesterday or tomorrow?
Well, it has been a beautiful journey. Okay. And the yesterdays were so instrumental for the tomorrows.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
my journey has been so eventful also, because if not for all those trials and the tribulations, we won't be ourselves, right? In any field, it not necessarily,
Absolutely.
not necessarily being a dancer or an artist. So for any of us, all those yesterdays are making our todays and of course tomorrows.
Right. Uma, I was thinking, I haven't had a chance to ask too many artists this, but really I want to ask, I mean, I do ask artists a lot about how, over the years of engaging with a particular piece, they evolve as artists. But I want to ask you today about how, like, the personal experiences that we have, how do they really shape us as dancers? And what I'm trying to ask is, how is the human side of an artist's journey? How does that really enrich the artist as a human?
It's a very beautiful question, Akila, because when you're a child, as a 5-year-old, you have no clue when your mother or someone else in the family would take you, would take you to the guru and say, okay, this is your teacher, and you're going to start learning something, right?
For sure.
And the child cannot choose at that time. So the parents, they make the choice for you.
Yeah, and you just follow. Yeah.
Yes. So the following does, bring you to a disciplined system, a regimentation or whatever. But later on, when you mature as a person, and then the takes that you go through in life are so myriad that each experience of your life, you get back into your art also. Like, there were good days, and then, yeah, there were not so good days. I wouldn't say bad days.
Sure, yeah.
But for an artist, whatever be your mental state of mind or a physical state of mind, you have to go there. Whether you're that day, it will not be a performance, maybe it will be just a class. But whether you're a student or you're going to teach, you cannot, show that on stage, or if it's a class also. If it's a 9 to 5 job, it's different.
Okay. Why would you say that, for example?
Because for example, if I have a headache, that is, or some other mental issue, you can maybe do that work to some extent reasonably well.
You can put on a, yeah.
But for an artist, supposing I have a stage performance on a day when I'm not feeling good, but it will remain forever etched in the memory of the person who's seen you, right?
Yeah.
So it is a blessing also. It's a blessing to be an artist where you forget whether you're mentally not okay or physically not okay. You just go there and do, and you forget everything.
Right. So,
yeah.
So Uma, what I'm hearing is that dance for you has been both an escape as well as a refuge.
Yes, definitely yes. Yes.
Right. So you talked initially, Uma, about trials and tribulations, right? I want to understand through it all, through life's trials and tribulations, was dance your anchor? And if yes, who were, people often talk about, everybody has somebody who kind of ensures that the anchor is held tight. Everybody has somebody, either one person or many people. So firstly, if you can tell us, like, has dance been your anchor through these ups and downs, number one? And number two, who have been those people who have really, really ensured that you don't, the ship doesn't sort of steer away from the direction it's supposed to travel in?
So the first question was, can you just repeat that?
Just like, has dance really been your anchor through life's ups and downs?
Yeah, that is a definite yes. So it has been, and the person who didn't let the ship sink was my mother. Till she was alive, and she passed away in 2004. And after that, I think she had ingrained those traits in me so much that I didn't let myself go also.
Right.
So
absolutely, yeah.
That's been my mother was everything for me, because she would make sure that, she would just whenever she's not around with me physically, she would call up and ask me, have you practiced, even if there's no program. So like that till today, Akhila, whether there is a program or no program, my schedule is like my stretches, yoga, and then I have a timetable where I do dance also, not like maybe 10 years before, but I have a regimentation where I follow even till today. So that really helped.
Yeah. Fantastic. Uma, over the years, obviously, 50 years of dancing is no mean feat. That's why we called it a 50 feet. I just want to ask you, how have the body and the mind changed? And how have you learned? I'm sure as an artist, how you go through these journeys. The body doesn't resist. Some things come easily. Some things that you were able to do 25 years ago very easily become difficult. How do you, through these years of performance and practice, and through the process of growing old and growing up in dance, how do you learn to embrace and accept?
Okay. Well, I was not a very serious dancer back then. Okay. When I was actually going for classes, because my mother used to push me for that. So though I could do so much more, I held back, which I really regret now, because I could have focused so much more and not wasted, much of my time. But, with childish, all those things, we never realized the value of it. So, but today, when I'm getting older, I know that the items or the adavus or whatever I could do maybe even 5 years before, it's a challenge today because, of course, we are all
Of course, yeah,
growing
yeah.
older, right? So I have to work around my weakness. For example, when I had a program in Canada about maybe 5 or 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I started working out so much, like climbing even the stairs maybe 10, 50 times a day, and I stretched, pulled my muscles so badly. And I couldn't even sit in Aramandi, leave alone Murumandu. So the entire performance I managed without sitting, in that half seated posture, right?
Mm.
But it came out, I think, pretty well because everybody appreciated.
I'm
So you
sure,
have
yeah.
to, yeah, you have to work around your weakness, but
Yeah.
you have to be ready. Whether you have a program tomorrow or maybe next week, next month, next year, a, a dancer has always she has to be prepared with herself physically, so that anytime if there's a performance, you should be ready for it.
No,
Till today,
absolutely.
till today I'm like that. The
No,
other
of course.
question, yeah, the other question is evolving, mentally. So the items which I would have done maybe even 5 years ago, I can appreciate it better today, and
Now.
the way I go through it is with more, uh, you know, uh, the choreography itself. When I teach my students, each time I teach, it is different because
Hmm.
I understand it better every time I do. So that happens when with experience, and
For sure. Yeah, yeah.
that's how.
Uma, I just want to ask you a question about, I read that, in the introduction, I talked about how Madhavi, Kannagi, people have known you for these portrayal of these roles. I just want to ask you a little bit about your process of how you really inhabit a character.
Well,
What goes
Madhavi,
into inhabiting a role?
Madhavi is something which is someone who's very close to my heart because when I was in school, I think in 1980s, so many years ago, I did the role of Madhavi. And when Muralidharan sir asked me, uh, I think in 2009, I was so elated because I felt that I still, I could portray the same role even 25 years later. And
Later.
that has been a very big landmark in my journey in dance because I got so much of appreciation and accolades. But Madhavi is someone who's very graceful, which is, I guess, in me, my personality is like that. But Kannagi is a very challenging character. So I always thought I should also do Kannagi because I love challenges. Though I keep biting my nails and I have to sit on the edge of the seat. I love it. So, and I thought, I myself told Muralidharan that I want to do this, and he was not very okay because he thought I'm a very, that softer person who cannot bring out the dynamism. But I knew I would do it, and that's how it happened, right? So
That's fantastic. Uma, before we go into just you telling us a little bit about, the day-long event that you've worn the curator's hat and thought about, let's just finally, before we go into that, let's just talk a little bit about just one question about, 50 years in dance. What would you tell, if there were like 3 or 4 things that you want to tell the younger generation that's pursuing dance? What would be those 3 things that you think that they must really, really, non-negotiables, as they say?
well, dance or any art is no bed of roses. So even if you are very affluent and if you can manage everything, the effort should be 100%.
Great,
And
yeah.
of course, it requires a lot of patience and perseverance. And there'll be so many challenges, not only on a daily basis. It could be from the the press and the press, you can read about yourself when you feel that you've done a performance very well, and you see that the press has not taken it that way. It really shatters your moral, because I've
I know.
experienced that.
Yeah.
So I would also request, someone, we do it for the passion of it. It's not because for anything else. So even when the pen is very powerful, so so the
For
writings of a
sure.
person should not
Can.
break the moral of anybody. I'm
Yeah.
requesting anybody who's going to write about an artist or anybody, because
To be, yeah.
there is a saying which I remember my father had quoted: there are no statues for any critics. So you understand what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So imagine if anybody, it's not easy for anybody to walk on the stage and do a performance. So first of all, I want the younger generation to understand that they should pursue whatever
Pursue.
their passion is. But at the same time, there will be brickbats and praises. So take everything on your stride. It could be very good one day, and maybe you would think you've done your best, but maybe an audience or any person may not think so. But let it not affect you. Do what you think you can do best. That's all.
That's some fantastic advice, Uma. Thank you for openly sharing this, because this is a very, very crucial advice, because often, especially in today's world, Uma, we do seek so much validation from the external world, not just press but also social media. We live in that sort of world, all of us, and I'm including myself. So definitely, like, this is an important piece of advice where there are some things that we pursue for the sheer love of it, and to just be a little empathetic and sensitive to the person who's actually putting in rigor and effort to showcase something. Thank you for that piece. And I just want to finally ask you a little bit about June 24th. You've been really, really busy putting that event together, and you're also going to be performing. So talk to us a little bit about the place that Kuchipudi occupies in Tamil Nadu, and how you've been, an important element in that entire space. And also the fact that June 24th will see the unraveling of a Kuchipudi convention, where different Kuchipudi exponents are going to be sharing their, thoughts and insights on this dance form. Just a little bit about the space that it occupies in Tamil Nadu, and the reason that you curated this convention.
Yes, though I've also been, I'm also a Bharatanatyam dancer.
I know
Kuchipudi
that, yeah.
holds a very special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because when I was older, I started that style. With Bharatanatyam,
Right.
I was much younger.
Younger.
And yes, so I was about 21, 22 when I was initiated into Kuchipudi. So that I thought, more than having Bharatanatyam as a focus, that too, everything is Bharatanatyam in Tamil Nadu, and December season is full of Bharatanatyam.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a platform where I showcase Kuchipudi, mostly, Kuchipudi only. So the morning, and another thing is, many people have asked me certain questions when they see my performance, right? What are the challenges of being a Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi dancer?
Kuchipudi, yeah.
Yes. So we have to, balance it so precariously, right? So that is a topic for debate. And then, and the next thought was I had chosen the Vachika and Aharya Abhinaya. Because Vachika Abhinaya is very predominant in Kuchipudi. We have to mouth the lyrics while dancing.
Yeah.
And Aharya, even the attire for Kuchipudi is not very different. It's very subtly different, which is not obvious in a layman's eye. So I thought this will be a topic for
interesting topic.
discussion. Then we have the impersonations, right? Because men were not allowed to dance. Women were not allowed to dance.
Not allowed.
And Kuchipudi is a drama tradition. That is the main difference between Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is again a very interesting and debatable topic. Then we have, yeah, we don't have a repertoire at the beginning. No, Kuchipudi never had a repertoire.
Mm.
So last year I'm going to present this, she's going to present Na Hridaya Pidipai.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the evolution of an invitation. Evolution of an invitation.
Okay,
Then the last
nice.
topic is about my Guru Vempati's creative ideas on productions. His productions is something out of the world. It's like a Vittalacharya movie, no? And how he's used, dancers as props is a very interesting aspect. So we are going
Okay,
to
nice.
have that too. So these 5 topics are very interesting for the evolution of Kuchipudi itself. So I thought
Yeah,
we had
absolutely.
yeah.
That's fantastic, Uma. Finally, also a little bit about the performance. You're going to be performing in the evening as well, right? Yeah.
So Krishna Parijatam is also very close to my heart because I performed this when Master Garu was there in 2000. And I thought it will be a very nice presentation if I do it for my 50 years. So that's how it happened. And when I collaborated with Kuchipudi Art Academy, Master Garu's daughter-in-law, she was very receptive. And everything has come out so beautifully. I'm looking forward to that.
That's great, Uma. Here's us on behalf of Alap wishing you the very, very best. And I hope that there are as many tomorrows that you have as yesterday's, and wishing you all success. And it's been a privilege to be working closely with you on this. And I hope that everybody who's here sets aside some time to be there for the convention and for the performance. Thank you, Uma, and take care. Yeah. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.